Hi, I'm Zach, and this is Challenge with Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. So, today we're talking about the Sun transit into Taurus. And if you like my videos, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me and the channel to be notified whenever I put out a new video. Be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. Alright, so this is going to be for your Vedic Sidereal Ascendant, Moon, and Sun sign. You're going to read the transit from all three positions to get the full picture. This isn't Western tropical. If you don't know your Vedic Sidereal placements, you can either look up a Vedic Sidereal birth chart calculator online or get a birth chart from my website, which will be extremely detailed. Alright, but Sun's moving into Taurus. It'll be moving from May 14th to June 14th. Now, we're going to look at this from every zodiac sign. So, let's get into it. Oh, before I do though, also, gotta mention the full moon and the new moon. So, the full moon's going to be in Scorpio, May 23rd. And the new moon will be in Taurus on June 6th. So, we're going to be, talking about that during this as well. Alright, now let's get into it. Alright, so, kicking it off with Aries, like always. Alright, Aries, so, for you, Sun is transiting into your second house. Well, Sun's your focus, and your second house is family, your earnings, your savings, finances. It's your speech. And Sun is going to be there with Jupiter. So, we definitely see focus is going to be on your family and your money. It's with Jupiter. This is going to be a very good month for you. Especially when it comes to money and your family. Because it's with Jupiter. Jupiter's the great benefic. But definitely expect a lot, going on with your family. You're going to be very focused on your family and your money. Now, there's going to be a significant event, though, in the opposite house, because the full moon will be taking place in Scorpio on May 23rd. Now, this is your 8th house. 8th house is in-laws, joint finances, it's the occult, sudden ups and downs, transformation, research, sex, surgery. So, there will be some culmination of emotion when it comes to this house on May 23rd. That's when you can expect this to happen. The full moon is when the moon's your emotions, is fully aspected by the sun. This is when emotions are at their peak. So, that's what you'll see with the full moon. Now, the new moon is going to be taking place in Taurus, though. This will be June 6th. So, Taurus is your second house. Family, earnings, speech. So, expect something significant. Brand new. Some new event with the family could take place. Maybe you find out that a family member is pregnant. Or about to have a child. Or you find a new source of income. That could be there as well. Alright, that's what I have for you, Aries. Taurus. Alright, Taurus. Sun has moved into your ascendant. So, the focus is on you. Your physical health, your body, your overall path in life. Now's the time to be a little self-centered. Now, Sun's with Jupiter. Jupiter's a great benefic in your ascendant. But Jupiter's also your 8th and your 11th lord. So, we see you're focused on your health. Maybe there's a surgery that's required because Jupiter's your 8th lord in the ascendant. So maybe now you're very concerned about your health. Or just wanting to transform your health. Be healthier. But overall, this would be good because Jupiter's a benefic. And Sun is really highlighting this for you right now. But let's talk about the full moon. The full moon is going to be taking place in your 7th house on May 23rd. So, May 23rd. That's, let's see. Yeah, going to be in your 7th house. So, 7th house is relationships, business, the masses. So, full moon is the culmination of emotions. Because moon's emotions. And this is when moon is at its fullest. So expect some major emotional event to take place with the full moon tied to the 7th house. So expect this to be tied to relationships, business, or some large gathering. Or some significant event with society. Now, this will likely be local society, because 7th house is your society, generally. Now, the new moon will be taking place on June 6th, and that'll be in your 1st house. The new moon is when something new takes place. So there will be something significant when it comes to your health, when it comes to you, on June 6th. So be aware of that. Alright, moving on to Gemini. Gemini, 1 second. Just realized my face was in the wrong place. Okay. Alright, Gemini. So, Sun has moved into Taurus, your 12th house. Alright, so 12th house is spirituality. 12th house is foreign travel. 12th house is loss. It's isolation. It's wherever you feel isolated. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. 12th house is bed pleasure, sex, and sleep. 12th house is foreign people, multinational companies. So, Sun here is your focus. Sun's your focus. Wherever it transits, there's, Sun's highlighting that house. And Sun's there with Jupiter. Jupiter's your 7th and 10th lord. So business, career, relationships. So those could be taking place in foreign lands, or there's losses tied to those in foreign lands. But 12th house is also investing. So you're focused on all these areas of life. Now, for the most part, they will go well, but Jupiter's expanding your losses. So that you have to be careful of. And maybe you're paying careful attention to that with Sun there, focusing on that for this month. Now, let's talk about the full moon and then the new moon. So the full moon is taking place in your 6th house in Scorpio. That'll be May 23rd. So, full moon in your 6th house. A full moon is the culmination of emotions. It's when moon, your emotions, is at its fullest. So, 6th house is tied to health. It's tied to debt, work, enemies. It's tied to pets. It's tied to your maternal aunts and uncles. Tied to your everyday routines. Now, when the full moon takes place here on the 23rd, there will be a culmination of emotions tied to this house. Maybe you learn something about your health. Remember, 12th house is hospitals. You're focused on the 12th house. So there could be a health issue that brings out those emotions. There could be an issue with work. There could be something with your maternal aunts and uncles, your pet. But that's the full moon. Now the new moon will be taking place in your 12th house on June 6th in Taurus. Because a new moon is the conjunction of sun and moon. So June 6th, expect something significant. Tied to losses, tied to travel, tied to spirituality, tied to investing, tied to isolation. Remember, jails, hospitals, monasteries. Hell, this is also bed pleasure, sex and sleep. Maybe you're getting laid. I don't know. But that's what we see with this new moon in the 12th house. These are the themes that you will see. Alright, moving on to Cancer. Cancer. Alright, so Sun is transiting into your 11th house of Taurus. Sun's your focus. 11th house is gains, hopes, wishes, desires. It's your elder sibling. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends, large gatherings, your network circle, large organizations. It's the gain of your status because it's second from the 10th house. So, Sun's transiting here with Jupiter. Jupiter is a great benefic, but Jupiter is also your 6th and 9th lord. So we see, Jupiter is going to bring some issues. You're going to be ending some friendships here. You might find out that friends are your enemies, or there's just conflict with some friends. But friends are being highlighted. Same thing with your elder, siblings. This is your focus. You're focused on how to make money. You're focused on, large gatherings. All these areas of life I've mentioned are what you're focused on. Now, let's talk about the full moon and the new moon. The full moon's taking place in your 5th house in Scorpio. So, this will be on May 23rd. A full moon is when moon is at its fullest. Moon is your emotions. So your emotions are full. They're overflowing right now. Or they will be on the 23rd. So, 5th house is romance, children, fun and games, education, speculative gains through stock market, gambling. 5th house is creativity, sports. Expect some emotions, prominent emotions to come out during that day tied to that house. So there could be a new romance that you begin, or some significant emotions coming up in romance on that day. There could be something significant with children that makes you very emotional. Same thing with education. Just these are the kinds of things that you'll experience during that full moon. Now the new moon will take place in Taurus though, on June 6th. So that will be some new event tied to the 11th house, tied to financial gains, tied to hopes, wishes, desires, elder sibling, paternal aunts and uncles, friends, large organizations. So that's what I have for you though, Cancer. Moving on to Leo. Leo, Sun has moved into your 10th house. So Sun's your focus, and 10th house is career, status. It's your fame. It's your workplace, your managers, your bosses. 10th house is also government. And it's conjunct with Jupiter in transit. Well, Jupiter rules your 5th house and your 8th house in the 10th. So one thing we see here is, especially with Sun highlighting your 10th house of career, Jupiter rules your 5th house of sudden change of career because it's 8th from the 10th house. There could be a change of job here. Especially if you know that's a likely possibility, or you're trying to get a new job. There could be change of job here. But, 5th and 8th house. 8th house is also sudden change. So even if you don't change job, expect a transformation to take place in your career during this transit of Jupiter. And Sun is highlighting this in particular this month. Now, let's talk about the new moon and the full moon. So, the full moon's happening first on May 23rd. And that's taking place in Scorpio. It's always opposite the transiting sun. So, full moon is when the moon's at its fullest. Moon's your emotions. So, your emotions will be at their fullest on the 23rd. Same with everyone. But for you, this is going to be tied to your fourth house. Fourth house is mother, home, land, real estate, vehicles, your comfort, and your happiness. So, we see a culmination of emotions tied to these things. Maybe something significant going on with your mother. Maybe you're getting a new home. Or there's an issue with your home. Same thing with a car. Maybe there's something that makes you very happy. Remember, fourth house is your comfort and your happiness. Now, the new moon, though, will take place on June 6th in Taurus, because the new moon is the conjunction of sun and moon in transit. So, June 6th, expect something major to take place tied to your career, tied to your status, tied to your fame. But also, for those of you that are retired, 10th house is the karma we perform in this world. That the world notices. I mean, this could be something as simple as, tending your garden. And everyone just enjoys the sight of it. Whatever you do, the karma that you're performing in the world, it doesn't just have to be tied to your career. So even if you're retired, 10th house still matters. Alright. Now, moving on to Virgo. Virgo, for you, Sun's transiting in your 9th house in Taurus. So, Sun's your focus, and it's conjunct Jupiter in transit. Jupiter's your 4th and your 7th lord in the 9th house. So, we see there could be travel to a new home. 4th lord of home in the 9th house of faraway places. Also, your mother could be traveling during this time, because 4th house is mother. 7th lord of relationships in the 9th house. Spouse could be traveling, or you could meet a partner in a foreign land. But also, 9th house is religion, philosophy, the law. It's your luck, your fortune. It's your father figures, teachers, mentors. Ninth house is higher education. So, with Sun here, this is what you're focused on during this transit. And it's with Jupiter, so this will be a good month in those areas of life. Now, let's talk about the full moon and the new moon. The full moon is going to be taking place in Scorpio, your 3rd house, on May 23rd. So, 3rd house is, well, first off, the full moon is when moon is at its fullest. Moon is your emotions. So, your emotions are at their fullest on the 23rd, tied to the 3rd house. 3rd house is younger sibling, cousins, your neighbors. It's communication of all kinds, including writing. Also, 9th house is tied to publishing. Just want to mention that real quick. But 3rd house is also media, marketing, sales. It's the internet. 3rd house is travel of all kinds. So, but especially short distance travel. Now, the full moon here. On the 23rd, there will be a culmination of emotions tied to these areas of life. Maybe there's something significant going on with your younger sibling or your cousins. Maybe you're having a fight with a neighbor. Maybe there's a big, change when it comes to your marketing, your sales, your media. Maybe your YouTube channel, your TikTok. Maybe you're just traveling. But also, third house is sports. Third house is creativity, art. Third house is also your self-efforts. So, this culmination of emotions could be tied to those as well. Now, June 6th, there will be a new moon in Taurus. The new moon is when sun and moon are conjunct in transit. So expect some new event, because the moon is starting its cycle over. So a significant new event tied to the ninth house. Religion, philosophy, law, father figures, teachers, higher education, travel, publishing, luck, fortune. These are the kinds of things that you can see. Something new tied to these things could take place. Alright, moving on to Libra. Libra. Sun is transiting in your 8th house with Jupiter. Jupiter is your 3rd and your 6th lord. So, Sun's your focus. You are now focused on the 8th house with Jupiter. Now, 8th house is sun ups and downs and transformation. And it's with the sun's with the 3rd lord. 3rd house is 8th from the 8th. It's the higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. So, we see big transformation could take place, especially during this month while sun is highlighting this. Also, 8th house is the occult. It's in-laws. It's joint finances. It's research. It's sex. It's your psychological baggage. Now, and of course, it's also death. Okay, so this is what you're focused on. All these areas of life. Maybe you're starting to learn astrology, or tarot, or any other form of the occult. Maybe you're doing research. Maybe you're focused on your in-laws. Why won't they leave you alone? Maybe you're focused on joint finances. But what we see here, definitely big transformation, because Jupiter is also your 3rd lord. Also, Jupiter is your 6th lord in the 8th house. Now, this can be very good. This can mean enemies are being defeated, because 6th lord of enemies is in the 8th house of death. Also, 6th house is health issues in the 8th house. Maybe your health issues are being resolved by you getting a surgery. 8th house is surgery. But this will generally be good for you because sun is with a benefic Jupiter. Now, let's talk about the full moon and the new moon. The full moon's taking place in the 2nd house. 2nd house of family, earnings, savings, speech. And this will be on May the 23rd. So, there will be some culmination of emotions, because moon is at its fullest. Moon's your emotions. So your emotions are at their peak on May 23rd, tied to your 2nd house of family, earnings, savings, and speech. So there could be something significant with your family that makes you emotional. Hopefully not an argument or some fight. There could be something significant with your money. Hopefully for the better. Now, the new moon will be on June 6th. So, there will be something significant tied to your 8th house on June the 6th. Maybe, if you're needing a surgery, that's the date you have your surgery. We can see that. Maybe you're learning something new tied to the occult. Remember, a new moon. It's a new phase of the moon. A new phase for you. Tied to that 8th house. Maybe there's something significantly new with your in-laws or your joint finances. But alright, that's what I have for you, Libra. Moving on to Scorpio. Alright, Scorpio. Sun has transited into your 7th house. Sun's your focus. It's with Jupiter in transit. Jupiter's your 2nd and your 5th lord in the 7th house. So, we see the focus is on the 7th house of relationships, business, the masses. So this is what you're focused on during this transit. You could be dealing with a lot of people right now. Now Jupiter, 5th lord of romance in the 7th house. A romantic relationship could be starting. Maybe you're very focused on relationships. But also 5th house of speculative gains. Gains through business. With Jupiter, the 5th lord in the 7th house. Gaining through business could be a big focus for you right now. If you're involved in business. Also education tied to your business. Because 5th lord of education. Now, 2nd lord of family as well in the 7th house. Maybe your family is tied to this business. But this is what we see your focus could be on during this time. Now, on May the 23rd, there's going to be a full moon in Scorpio. Scorpio's your ascendant. Now, a full moon is when moon is at its fullest. Moon is your emotions. Emotions are at their peak. They're at their fullest. So, you will be very emotional on May 23rd. In particular, this could be tied to your health, tied to your physical body, tied to your overall path in life. But in general, expect to be very emotional on the 23rd. Could be something significant going on for you that day. Now, in the 1st house, it could kind of be anything. But just, if you think you need to, try to keep your emotions in check that day. You've been warned. Now, on June the 6th, there will be a new moon in the 7th house. So, a new moon is a new cycle of the moon. A new cycle for you. It will be tied to the 7th house of relationships, business, and the masses. Expect something new to take place tied to this house on June the 6th. So that could be getting out and meeting a bunch of people. This could be a new relationship or something significant in your relationship. This could be some issue with your business partner or in your business. But alright, that's what I have for you, Scorpio. Moving on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Sun is transiting in your 6th house in Taurus with Jupiter. So, Sun's your focus. And it's transiting with the 1st and 4th lord, Jupiter, in the 6th house. So, one thing we see here. Definitely, there could be health issues right now. And Sun is showing the focus is on that. 6th house is also debt. 6th house is enemies. 6th house is your work. Everyday routines. It's your coworkers. It's your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your pets. So you're focused on all these things. Now Jupiter is a great benefic. So overall, this will be good in the long run. But there will be difficulty. 6th house is not easy. So you're going to be focused on your health. You're going to be focused on your enemies. Focused on your debt. There's going to be more debt than usual. Jupiter's expanding that. So you need to be focused here right now. Now, let's talk about the full moon and the new moon. So the full moon is taking place on May 23rd in your 12th house in Scorpio. So the full moon is when moon's at its fullest. Moon is your emotions. Emotions are at their peak on May 23rd, tied to your 12th house. So 12th house is spirituality. It's isolation, jails, hospitals, monasteries. It's bed pleasure, sex, and sleep. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's foreign lands, foreign people, multinational companies. So, we see there will be some peak tied to your emotions on May the 23rd, tied to that 12th house. So, could be financial losses because of all the debt that you're in. Could be health issues that require going to a hospital. Going to an isolated place in regards to your health. Could be your spirituality. Could be you wanting to take a foreign trip. The 12th house is also investing. Could be something tied to your investments. Maybe they're doing great. Maybe they're doing bad. Now, the new moon will take place on June 6th in Taurus in your 6th house. Well, a new moon. A new cycle of the moon. A new cycle for you. So, expect something significant that's new tied to your 6th house. Of health issues, accidents, work, enemies, debt. On June the 6th. Also maternal aunts and uncles, pets. Alright, that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Moving on to Capricorn. Alright, Capricorn. So, Sun's transiting into your 5th house in Taurus. Sun's your focus. It's there with Jupiter. Jupiter's your 12th and your 3rd lord. In the 5th house. So, you're focused on the 5th house. 5th house is romance, children, education, fun and games, speculative gains through business, through stock market, through gambling, any form of speculation. Also, Jupiter is your 12th lord. 12th house is investing, but it's also losses. It's also your 3rd lord. So, we clearly see that you could lose through speculation if you're not careful. This is a better time to invest than to try to get a payout. That's one thing that we significantly see with this. But we see you're focused on these areas of life with Sun being here. And overall, while Jupiter does rule a house that brings some difficulty, Jupiter's a benefic overall. So overall, things will be good, especially in the long run throughout its transit. But let's talk about the full moon and the new moon. So the full moon's taking place in your 11th house in Scorpio on May 23rd. So, full moon is when moon is at its fullest. Moon's your emotions. So emotions are at their peak on May 23rd, tied to your 11th house. 11th house is your elder sibling. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends, your network circle, large organizations. It's your hopes, wishes, desires. It's stock market. It's financial gains. So, expect a culmination of emotions. Your emotions are going to be running high, tied to that 11th house. Now, the new moon will be taking place on June 6th in Taurus. Because the new moon is the conjunction of sun and moon in transit. Now, think about it. New moon. It's a new cycle for the moon. A new cycle for you. Tied to that 5th house. So, expect something significantly new. When it comes to romance. When it comes to children. When it comes to fun and games. When it comes to education. When it comes to speculation. Okay. Moving on to Aquarius. Alright, Aquarius. I had a crick in my neck. Okay. That's right, Aquarius. You're a crick in my neck. Now. Sun, your focus is transiting in the 4th house in Taurus with Jupiter. Jupiter's your 11th and your 2nd lord in the 4th house. So, we see 11th house is friends, elder sibling, paternal aunts and uncles. They could be visiting you at home during this transit. 2nd lord of family in the 4th house. Definitely, there could be a lot going on at home when it comes to your family. Especially elder sibling, paternal aunts and uncles. Because of that Jupiter. But 4th house is mother, home, land, real estate, vehicles, your comfort and your happiness. So you're focused on these areas of life. But also Jupiter is bringing its influence. So we see this. Now, let's talk about the full moon and the new moon. The full moon's taking place on May 23rd in Scorpio. Oh. Alright. So, Scorpio's your 10th house. Well, the full moon is when moon is at its fullest. Moon's your emotions. So your emotions are at their peak. Tied to your 10th house. 10th house is your career, your status, your workplace, your managers, your bosses. 10th house is government. For those that are retired, 10th house is also the karma you perform that the world notices. So this could be as simple as, say you're an old, the cliche of the old woman sitting in the park feeding the birds. That's your karma. Your karma is to make sure all the pigeons are fed. There's your 10th house karma when you're retired. Oh, hell. Now all the elderly are going to be mad at me in the comments. Alright. But we see that there will be a culmination of emotions tied to your 10th house on May the 23rd. So, for most people, this is going to be tied to career. Career and status and fame. And your workplace. So expect something significant, emotionally in particular, tied to that 10th house on May 23rd. Now, the new moon will be taking place June 6th in Taurus, your 4th house. So, think about it. New moon. New moon is when sun and moon are conjunct in transit. It's a new cycle of the moon. A new cycle for you. So a new moon shows there will be a new event tied to your 4th house. So expect something significant that's new, tied to your mother, your home, land, real estate, tied to your vehicles, your comfort, and your happiness. Maybe, your mother has something significant going on. Maybe you're getting a new home or changing something in the home. Same thing with a car. Maybe your car needs repairs. Or maybe you're just going to be really happy. Feeling really comfortable on that day. But alright, that's what I have for you, Aquarius. Quit being a crick in my neck. Moving on to Pisces. Alright, Pisces. So, down to the last sign. Alright, Sun is transiting in Taurus, your 3rd house. Sun's your focus. It's conjunct with Jupiter in transit. Jupiter's your 10th and your 1st lord in the 3rd house. So, we see there's an influence of your career, your status, your fame, and your 1st house of self tied to the 3rd house where you're focused. So, you're focused on the 3rd house, younger siblings, cousins, neighbors, media, communications of all kinds, including writing, travel. You're focused on marketing, sales, sports, art, creativity. So we see you're focused on all these areas of life. But Jupiter ruling your career in the third house. Third house is also effort. You're going to have to put forth a lot of effort in your career. And there will be major changes tied to your career. Because the third house is 8th from the 8th. It's the higher form of sudden ups and downs and transformation. So expect sudden changes in your work. Maybe this is, you starting a new project. Maybe this is a promotion. Depends on your individual chart. But we see you're focused on all these things tied to the third house. Maybe you're using media to help grow your business, your career. Maybe you're obtaining more fame through media. You're having to do marketing and sales on behalf of your career. Now, let's talk about the full moon and the new moon. The full moon's taking place in your 9th house in Scorpio on May 23rd. So, full moon is when moon's at its fullest. Moon's your emotions. So, emotions are at their peak, tied to that 9th house. The 9th house is father and father figures. 9th house is teachers, gurus. It's higher education. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's long distance travel. It's publishing. It's your luck, your fortune. So, we see there will be a culmination of emotions tied to these areas of life on the 23rd. So there could be something significant with your father that makes you emotional. Something significant with your teacher. Something significant with your religious views, your philosophy. Something tied to a legal issue. Something tied to travel. Or your education. Now, the new moon will take place on June the 6th. New moon is when sun and moon are conjunct in transit. So, think about it. New moon. A new cycle of the moon. Well, it's also a new cycle for you. So, when the new moon takes place on June 6th, there will be something new tied to that third house. Tied to your younger sibling. Tied to your cousins, your neighbors. Tied to your marketing, your sales, your media, your communication, your travel. Expect something new tied to those on June the 6th. Also tied to your effort. But alright, okay. But yeah, that's what I have for all of you. All of the zodiac signs. So for those who have stuck around this long, I've decided to, uncouple the Sun and Mars videos. I kind of feel like it's affecting the views. At least it did on the last video, because Sun and Mars transits were so far apart. But this is probably how I'm going to do it from now on. And to make up for that, I'm going to make sure to talk about the new moon and the full moon each time. Okay. But that's what I have for all of you. And if you like my videos, be sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out me in the channel to be notified whenever I put out a new video. Be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, the links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.